I tell you a quick ghost story? We did an event with Lower Bucks Paranormal Society the other night. It was a really beautiful event. It was at Healing Time Studio, and like people who bought tickets basically like they painted while we ghost hunted, which like for me, I was like, how is this gonna go? But we just brought our equipment into the studio, and with all the people in the room, it was like popping off. Like there were spirits all over the place, and Amanda was with us, so she was getting all these hits, you know, like and I brought Miss Shirley, my haunted doll, and Amanda goes, all of a sudden, like I don't know, Chris and Sherry are talking, and Amanda just goes, whoo! She starts laughing, and I was like, what? She's like, Miss Shirley just said she better not get rid of me because I like her, talking about me. And then later in the evening, Amanda starts cracking up, and she said, her laugh sounds like you. She's like, she has the same cackle laugh that you like, the ha that you do. And I was like, that's so weird.
Wait, so can you find out who's attached to Miss Shirley?
I was going to ask, but I was trying not to be annoying because I know Amanda, she was kind of feeling overwhelmed with all the people in the room. So I was trying to be respectful and not like geek out. But I think if Amanda were to sit down with her plus our equipment, we could definitely find who is really attached to Miss Shirley.
That's all. I never even thought about that you can find out who the attachment is.
Yeah. I mean, it also depends if it's like a soul to like a person, you know, like if it's like someone who just like passed away, like you or me. But it also, you know, could be like like we've had shapeshifters come up during investigations who like, which are known to be like ancient spirits, like all these different kinds of, I mean, and again, depending on your belief system, like it really challenges your belief system, I think, when we
shapeshifters.
Yeah. Like,
oh, we could do an episode of shapeshifters.
That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. Yeah.
Do you know a lot about that?
I know like different forms of like cryptids or creatures or spirits. Like I could definitely talk about it a lot, especially if we chose one to cover. We have
like the Native American shapeshifters.
Yeah, the skinwalkers.
Like the Wangugu or whatever. That one.
Is that what it's really called? Or
No, I just made that out. It starts with a W though.
Oh, okay.
And then you have like the reptilian shapeshifters. That's what people believe like celebrities and politicians will shapeshift into. Yeah. There's a really cool one in Japanese culture. Oh yeah.
That I like. So Teen Wolf, the TV show, does actually, funny enough, they like pretty accurately describe different cryptids like that are like across the world in different cultures. They have influences of these like different creatures that come into the show, and they pretty accurately define them and depict them in the show, which is kind of fun and interesting. But yeah, I mean, even just talking about werewolves would be really cool. Or vampires. I guess,
is Teen Wolf considered a shapeshifter?
A werewolf?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm writing these topics down because cryptids, we could just do a whole episode on like 5 different cryptids.
Literally so many of them.
Yeah. Then we could do shapeshifters.
I would like to do vampires too. That would be cool.
Yeah, that one's fun because there's like different kinds of vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just watched. Oh, you told me to watch that one show about vampires. I was like, I just watched a show about vampires.
What show?
Midnight Mass.
Oh. You think those are vampires, though? This is an interesting conversation. Let's have it. Let's have it really quick.
Okay, go for it.
Do you think it's about vampires? Like, what do you think 100%. They were? They were vampires to you? To me, no. I guess, okay. Yeah, I guess they became vampires. Okay, yeah, that actually,
100%. Yeah. They can't go out in the dark.
Yeah.
Or they can't go out in the light.
Yeah.
They drink your blood.
Yeah.
They
what was the way to kill them? Oh, the sunlight. Or was there any other way to kill them?
Could you stab them with something?
I don't know. I don't remember if they did in the show. I don't think they figured out how to kill them. They just took over.
They burned down the whole city and said, you have nowhere to hide now.
Yeah.
So it was sunlight.
Yeah.
Doesn't the one guy who dies on the boat kind of say that he's a vampire?
I guess so.
Or he just says he's cursed? Yeah,
that's so sad. Again, don't you wish they'd kissed at least once?
Yes.
Come on. I watched it, whatever. Anyway, but I thought what was cool about the reason I was like, oh, you think they're vampires is because the main creature, I thought was such an amazing depiction of an angel, or you couldn't tell if it was this blend of angel and demon. It was
angel of death, right?
I guess so. I guess you're so confident. You're like, this is what it was. And to me, I was questioning everything. Okay.
Right? He is.
Yeah. But we don't know who his master was, or if there was a master. None of those were answered, whether it was God or the devil. And the priest was really torn by that. He thought initially it was God, but then by the end he was like, this is not God.
Well, if you look at Luciferianism and Satanism, and that's also we're talking about this because this is somewhat of what my topic is.
Yes.
They believe in the worship of Lucifer, and I do want to cover this topic. I just don't know when it's going to be appropriate because it touches on some kind of.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I know we've talked about this,
but there is a belief that Lucifer is really just the light bearer, the light giver, and that's really what most people are worshiping, and that there's a whole conspiracy behind what even Catholicism is in Christianity.
Sorry, I had to get the hair out of my ear. You're
making me want to do it. It's sneezing.
Itchy. You mean yawning?
Yeah. Okay, I have something in my ear too. Okay.
Yes. I want you to cover that topic as well. I'm excited about your topic for today now.
Oh
now
my gosh, I got so many topics now too. But yeah, the topic today. No, but really, I've been since I've been listening to all these other books and stuff. I'm
my God.
Ranked up on one, but
I have
we got it.
2 in my head.
I have an idea. We'll talk about it afterwards. How I can, with both our topics, everything. Mm-hmm. Ready.
I'm ready.
Today, we're going to start with Aleister Crowley.
Yes, I know who that is.
Yes,
I'm hype. Okay, cool.
Also known as the Great Beast 666, and remembered by the esoteric world as the wickedest man alive.
Mm-hmm.
Crowley was a British occultist, mystic, writer whose influence on the Western culture is undeniable through his philosophy on Thelema, centered on the maxim, do what thou wilt. Mm. He inspired musicians like Led Zeppelin, David Bowie, Ozzy Osbourne, who wrote a song called Mr. Crowley, which immortalized his controversial persona.
Wow.
But this is not about Aleister Crowley.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What?
So why am I mentioning him at all? Because Crowley was not an anomaly. He was a product of something far greater. He was a member of one of the most influential occult fraternities in Western history. This is the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn.
Whoa!
Yeah. Yes, I did a good intro.
Wow, that was really good.
Yes, dude, I feel like I nailed it then.
All right.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over who the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn is. I'm going to give you examples. Okay. I'm going to give you then we're going to go over different levels of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, a little bit of the initiation, and then the conspiracies of it.
Okay. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Okay. Okay. I hope the rest is as good. With the exception, why the Golden Dawn matters. With the exception of those deeply interested in the occult, few people realize this. The vast influence Aleister Crowley had on the Western esoteric world was largely a byproduct of his training with the Golden Dawn. And Crowley was not alone. The Golden Dawn produced extraordinary figures. Some of these figures are not so well known, but unless you're in the mystic world.
Okay.
But others are.
Mm-hmm.
W.B. Yeats, the Nobel Prize winning poet, Samuel Liddell McGregor Mathers, master ritualist and translator of grimoires. There's a conspiracy. I don't cover it in this.
Grimoires? Is that what
grimoires.
it is?
Did I say that? That's how grimoires.
I think you said grimoires.
Yeah, well, I meant grimoires.
No, you're doing. Yeah. Anyway,
I'm doing what you did last week.
Yeah. It's okay.
But also with the Samuel Liddell McGregor Mathers, researching this. I don't cover it in this, but researching it a bit. There's the conspiracy that he's actually possibly the grandfather of Marshall Mathers. Eminem.
Who's that?
Eminem.
Oh.
Eminem.
Sorry.
Marshall Mathers.
Sorry.
That's so funny. Have you ever seen Superbad? The movie
Yeah,
Superbad?
but
where she's like, he's white. He looks like Eminem. They're like, who? He's like Marshall Mathers. That's it.
That joke went right over my head when I saw the movie.
When McLovin gets punched in the face and she's getting interviewed by the cops.
I'm forgetting everything. Yeah.
All right. Others are Arthur Edward Waite, who is the co-writer of the Rider-Waite Tarot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those are like the main cards.
That's the original tarot deck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dion Fortune, founder of the Society of the Inner Light, and Florence Farr, the actress and ceremonial magician. No organization has had a greater impact on Western ceremonial magic than the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, and this was no accident. So what the Golden Dawn was and was not. It was founded in 1888. The Golden Dawn was established by Kabbalists, Rosicrucians, Freemasons, and Theosophists. I practiced these words before I did this. I went over this whole script. It was like, I'm not going to screw up any words, and I'm screwing them up now.
No, but Theosophists, that's
Theosophist.
We're triggered by that word.
I know, that's what it is.
That one was okay. If you come across the other one.
I think I deleted it.
Anthroposophy.
Yeah, that one. All right. Its rituals, such as the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram and the middle pillar exercise, are now fundamental practices used across countless magical traditions. The Golden Dawn was not a religion. It was a hermetic fraternity dedicated to spiritual evolution, psychic development, and the study and practice of occult science. It served as both a school and repository of esoteric knowledge, emphasizing tolerance towards all religious paths. Christians, Jews, neo-pagans, Gnostics, and others all work side by side with its system. The initiatory system. Students progressed through a graded initiatory system. Yes.
Initiatory system. You're getting initiated.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is
like,
the process.
Did I say that wrong too?
No. I'm just making sure I understand. So this is now you're now going to tell me the steps of becoming initiated.
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
We're going to go into maybe a little bit. Each grade unveiling deeper layers, so it is part of it. Deeper layers of knowledge and responsibility. Initiates memorized a vast system of symbolic correspondences, colors, numbers, planets, angels, divine names, cultivating discipline, balance, and clarity before engaging in practical magic. The Golden Dawn synthesized traditions from Egyptian religion, Judo-Christian mysticism, Greek philosophy, Gnosticism, Neoplatonism, Rosicrucianism, and Freemasonry. Its curriculum included Kabbalah, astrology, divination, inner alchemy, scrying, Egyptian magic, and most intriguingly, the Enochian magic derived from the John Dee and Edward Kelly. Do you know what the Enochian key is?
It sounds really familiar. But no.
It's like how you can. It's like I wrote this down as a topic because I'm reading a book right now by. Do you know Dan Brown?
Mm-mm.
He wrote Da Vinci Code.
Oh, I love that movie.
Oh, he's my favorite author. He's got a new book out right now. It's a set of 19 powerful angelic invocations written in the Enochian or angelic language.
What?
And it helps you like study the spiritual realm. It's like a key to help study them. So it's cool. In the book, they mention this. So I'm halfway through it, and now I'm starting to think that because he covers a conspiracy or a secret society in every book. Da Vinci Code is Illuminati. Lost Templar is Freemasons. Opus Dei is Angels and Demons. And I'm starting to think that this is the book is switching to the Golden Order, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn.
Oh, that's cool.
All right, so the occult renaissance of the 19th century. To understand the Golden Dawn, we must first understand its time. 19th century witnessed a revival of occultism across Europe, especially in France and England. At the center of the revival stood Eliphas Levi, which, that name sounds more familiar, but whose dogma and ritual of high magic laid the groundwork for modern Western occultism. His correspondence between the tarot and the tree of life became central to the Golden Dawn's teachings. At this time, spiritualism captivated the masses, Freemasonry experienced a resurgence, and Theosophical Society emerged, offering a new spiritual paradigm. But tensions arose practically between Eastern mysticism and Western esotericism. The birth of the Golden Dawn in 1988, 3 men founded the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. William Westcott, William Woodman, Samuel Liddell McGregor Mathers were the 3 founders of it. At the heart of the order lay the mysterious cipher manuscripts, which were encrypted documents outlining rituals, grades, and symbolic teachings. Though the manuscripts are real, the origins remain controversial, involving figures such as Kenneth Mackenzie and possibly Eliphas Levi. Westcott's later claims of authoritarianism from German Rosicrucian adept Anna Sprinagel were ultimately revealed to be fabricated, a decision that would later contribute to the order's collapse. Now that goes into, like, that's what they believe Hitler was part of.
Huh?
Hitler was part of, like, this occult magic.
Oh.
He loved it. He had a whole team that worked on it.
Wow. That's cool. Now, just really quick, I want to interject super quick, because I think what's really cool about societies like this, especially this one, is that they're not sitting around being like, does this exist? What if it exists? They have just they're just like, it is part of their, like, they're like, it exists.
You think they created it?
No, I don't think that they created it, but like, I think that they're just like, yep, the spiritual realm is there and we're going to access it and we're going to try and interact with it, and we're going to like, you don't have to, they're not sitting around being like, do you think magic exists? Like, oh, let's test it out. They literally have like a whole order of people that is like, this is real. Like, this is part of our daily lives and belief system. And we are going to actively practice it, actively like incorporate it into our lives. Like, I don't think people do that. I think now, like, you know, I have my like altar, like I have like an area where I have like spell things, you know, that I can use and do, and it's fun. But I'm not, I mean, obviously not to that level, and you and I sit together being like, oh, do you think it's real? You know, but like to that level, it's incredible to me.
Well, some of it is, I think a lot of people think these secret societies are very sinister, and they might not be. Like, it seems like we're about to cover this. Well, I'm about to cover the structure of the order, because we're going to do the outer order, the inner order. And it sounds pretty nice.
I'm sure. Well,
but
it starts. Well, it's like, well, no.
If we cover things like the Freemasons,
Mm-hmm.
if you cover orders 0 through 5, 5 through 10, 11 through 16, like all this, the orders just are discipline and brotherhood and all this. It's the higher orders, like the Scottish Rite, the 32nd or 33 degree Scottish Rite, and the 32nd degree, and all this, that there's only very select few who seem to hit that I've met one.
One what?
A 32nd or a 33 degree Mason.
Oh.
Met him at a wedding like 6 months ago.
Whoa.
He showed me everything, was talking about it openly, and he's like, it's not that bad. But I think
it's not that bad.
Yeah. He's like, we're fine. We're good people. And I was like, okay.
Well, yeah.
I was like, well, tell me more. I was like, do you need a drink? I'll get you a drink.
Well, I think it reminds me of kind of, I don't mean to be like, okay, even to the level at like at a college level, like I would talk about frats in this way. Like, there's like a frat mentality when you're in a group where no one's telling you that what you're doing is wrong, and you're surrounded by everyone like being like, this is good, this is good, this is good, you're great, you're a good man, you're doing good things. And it can be the same with women. I just from the woman's perspective, see it more with like frats and then extended. But yeah, everyone's gonna, they all think they're doing good, and they're all supporting each other. They're all keeping their secrets, you know.
Yeah, but then there's also the fraternities of the secret societies,
mm-hmm.
like the Skull and Bones. Do you know Skull and Bones?
I've heard of it.
Skull and Bones is Yale's secret society, and that's George Bush was part of it,
mm-hmm.
and that's his whole thing that he, you know, have you ever heard of his ritual for the Skull and Bones?
No.
Oh, that he had to sit in a casket while other men like masturbated on him.
Ew!
You don't know about this?
Oh.
So the crazy part is
like,
he ran against John Kerry. When he ran against John Kerry was also part of the Skull and Bones. So it was two Skull and Bones members running against each other to be president of the United States.
Dude, I said this.
There's a video.
Ew. Of George Bush with everyone.
Of multiple ceremonies like this.
Oh my God.
Do you know about like?
Oh my God.
Wait, do you like Bohemian Grove?
No.
Nice. Oh my God, I'll cover Bohemian Grove. I could cover that without notes.
Yeah. Oh God. No, wait. I really want to say something really quick, and then we could go back. But my uncle and I, we were talking about like, you know, have you seen Wild Wild West on Netflix? The
Secret Society in Oregon, or the cult.
Yeah, the cult.
I have not.
Well, we were talking about that specific cult and group last night because we were looking at the documentary and stuff, and you know, what I'm trying to say is like the ritual with the masturbation and stuff. Plus, like, you know, there's always like some weird sexual element to like these things, and
That's
I'm like,
a lot of energy.
Yeah, but what?
Sexual energy is a big energy.
It is, but like, here's my thing: you really need like a cult to give you permission to like sexually explore. Come on, if you
it's humiliation. I think so. I think it's a humiliation ritual.
But like, there's
you have to allow
it's
yourself
just,
to be
so,
blackmailed.
like,
I think it's a lot that had to do with the Epstein stuff.
Yeah, and like it's like for it to be, I don't know. I'm like, it's just so like they know how strange it is. Like, don't they know how strange it is?
That's
like,
why they do it.
I'm like, but like, who made that up? Who was like, I'd be like, oh my God, you're such a sadistic weirdo.
Some psychopath.
Yeah, like some like such a big old weirdo.
Like, let's all masturbate on each other.
Yeah, like,
and then we're
but then at the same time, it's like, okay, people, you can just do that if you know what I mean.
Okay, Joe's movie about the fraternity bros.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a weird thing that they have to, all the guys stand around.
The initiation.
Right? They all stand
They don't do that in the movie. I would like to be clear. They don't do the masturbation,
but they pretty much fight. Right?
Yeah,
and then
they have
there's
like
this initiation.
Yeah.
And then you have to do something that is a little wicked, a little crooked, and then you're part of that society, and now you hold on to it.
Yeah, I mean, they're like killing people. Like, I feel like gang members have to kill people to become, part of the gang. But again, I just find it to be so like, I'm like, okay, if you're so sexually frustrated, like, I just find this sexual. You don't think so at all?
No,
I'm like,
I think it's
there are
humiliation
other
and blackmail
roots. Like, I just find it funny that like this whole sect of like secret societies, they go in like a sexual route versus like gangs will go in a violence route, and like,
because no matter if there's a moral code written for you, there's something inside of you that tells you it's wrong, and that's what they like to trigger. Is that like part of you that just you're not supposed to touch? Like, if it was happy-go-lucky, if it was like, buy everyone a cheeseburger and then you're in, they'd be like, okay, this is the easiest initiation. It's supposed to be hard.
I know, but I guess my point is that it's like, I guess my point being that I find it, I don't know.
Abnormal or gross?
Not gross. No, like, they're just like, no, because it just, to me, feels very driven by everyone just wanting to have an orgy, and I'm like, it's fine.
Oh, maybe.
Like,
the one guy
be okay with it. Yeah, like, you want to have an orgy, grow up.
Okay.
You know, like, that's kind of how it feels to me, versus like gangs who are like, no, you need to like test that you're able to. Yeah, and then it just, that's all I'm trying to say.
Well, I think it's a darkness, and it's whatever they're trying to access, which is usually some kind of darker, possibly if the society is sinister, some kind of, darker being up there.
Well, then maybe that's also rooted in like their values. Like if these people are like more religious or more, and like within their society, there's these like realms, like you can't, sexual deviance and things like that. And they're like, oh no, it's so frowned upon. Like, so then you're right. Then that is like the worst thing they could possibly be doing. And that's what they're going to blackmail them with.
All right. Structure of the order. 1, the outer order. And I put these into detail. I researched a little bit more on this. The stage, the number 1 is the outer order. You have the stage of purification, education, and equilibrium. The outer order was dedicated to foundational training. Initiates study theory, symbolism, and self-discipline before engaging in advanced magical work. You have 1, the neophyte, the threshold grade. The initiate is introduced to the order, its symbolism, and the concept of the great work. The grade represents spiritual rebirth and the decision to walk the path of initiation. So 1 is just you're pretty much making a pledge. 2 is a zealator, 1 through 10. Or 1 equals 10, associated with the element of earth. The focus is on grounding, discipline, and mastering the physical and instinctual aspects of the self. The initiate begins serious study of ritual and symbolism. 3, the theocris. Aligned with the element of air, this grade emphasizes intellectual development, study of Kabbalah, symbolism, and the training of analytical mind. 4, practicus, corresponding to the element of water. The initiate works on emotional balance, imagination, and the subconscious, learning to purify desire and refine inner perception. The last is philosophus, linked to the element of fire. The grade tests the will, ethical maturity, and the personal responsibility. The initiate learns to integrate all 4 elements in preparation for true magical work. Sounds pretty good. Doesn't sound that bad. It's earth, earth, air.
Yeah.
Wind.
Yeah.
Earth, air, fire. Did I get that?
Earth,
air, water, fire.
Yeah.
Okay, now you have the inner order. This is the stage of consternation, transformation, and practical magic. Entry into the inner order marked the transition from theory to active ceremonial magic and spiritual realization. Adeptus minor, Adeptus major, and Adeptus exemptus. Adeptus minor is the grade of adept. The initiate symbolically dies and is reborn, seeking conscious communion with the higher self or holy guardian angel. Practical magic becomes central. Adeptus major is the grade of equilibrium and mastery. The adept refines their magical power, balances intellect and intuition, and deepens their understanding of cosmic laws. Adeptus exemptus is the culmination of the inner order. The adept transcends personal ambition, prepares for the surrender of ego, and stands at the threshold between human and transhuman consciousness. There's the third one, which is the invisible order, the stage of union with the divine. These grades were considered non-corporeal and unattainable by the living initiates within the original Golden Dawn framework. You have the Master Templi, which is the master of the temple. Consciousness is fully aligned with universal law. The adept becomes a guardian of spiritual truth and vessel of the divine wisdom. Magus embodies the creative divine will. At this level, the individual becomes a living expression of spiritual law, shaping reality through word and intention. Then you have Ipsissimus, the highest possible attainment, complete unity with the divine source, beyond duality, beyond limitation, beyond individuality. It sounds like a path to magic.
Well, yeah, I was actually going to ask that like when that union with the divine, like my next question was going to be like,
who's the divine?
No, like can you attain that in? Like, can you ever get there? But then you said it's unattainable by the living in the order, which is interesting. So you have to die to get to that point, or when you die, you get there.
What do they mean by death?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because have you heard the prayer of St. Francis? It's because what they're also saying, though, I think, is the death of the ego.
Okay.
Which you try to, in the third column of the second inner order, or in the second order, which is the inner order, and adaptus exempus, you're supposed to be surrendering to the death of the ego. So, like in the prayer of St. Francis, you must die to be born to eternal life. And I believe you're not actually dying. You're supposed to die to like your own inner self and ego.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that in these teachings too, because like if you learn tarot properly too, or if you understand it at all, like the death card doesn't mean real death. And so we go back to these like like these people who went through this training and philosophy. It's like they just mean the death of a chapter in your life, or the whatever.
So there was a conflict, a fracture, and a fall of this. We're going to cover this, the legacy of it, and then we're going to start covering the conspiracies behind the order.
Okay. I'm excited.
Conflict, fracture, and fall. By the late 1890s, internal tensions erupted. Key events happened. Key events included financial disputes with an Annie Horniman, Westcott's forced resignation, Mather's authoritarian leadership, the exposure of the forged Springle letters, and Aleister Crowley's controversial initiation. The infamous Battle of Blythe Road in 1900 marked the irreversible fracture of the order. I looked that up. It's when Aleister Crowley went to the door of W.B. Yeats and they had a disagreement, and it was on public display. Other people saw it, and W.B. Yeats pretty much just pushes Aleister Crowley down the stairs. And that's why they're calling it, and they call it the Battle of Blythe Road, but it was pretty much just a public disagreement. That's all it was.
The battle.
And it creates a schism between the order. The legacy. Though the original Golden Dawn collapsed, its teachings survived through successor orders, and the orders were Stella Matutina, Alpha Eta Omega, the Fellowship of the Rosy Cross, and the Society of the Inner Light, and most importantly through Israel Regardie, whose publication of the Golden Dawn's rituals preserved the system for future generations. Without Regardie doing this, most of the knowledge would have been lost. So some guy wrote it all down.
That's good.
Yeah.
Better than what did we say, the Book of Life last week, or the
Akashic
Records? Right.
Yeah, someone wrote it down. All right. So there's many conspiracies that go beyond, or that are covered in the Hermetic Order. Number one is there is a thing called the Secret Chiefs Conspiracy. The claim is that the Golden Dawn was allegedly directed by hidden, non-physical beings known as the Secret Chiefs, advanced adepts who guided humanity from higher planes of existence. Some believe these beings were ascended masters, ancient Rosicrucians — I want to cover Rosicrucians one day — Atlantean survivors, extraterrestrial intelligences, or ultra-secret human initiates operating beyond world beliefs. The skeptical view. Most historians agree the secret chiefs were largely symbolic constructs or psychological frameworks used to legitimize authority and inspire spiritual aspiration. Westcott's fabricated correspondence with Anna Springle severely undermined literal interpretations. Why it persists? Crowley, Mathers, and later occultists did not report visionary contact with higher intelligences, blurring the line between inner experience and external reality. Do you know about Stephen Greer? This is what it sounds like. Stephen Greer is a guy who believes that he has like the disclosure agreement, or that's the age of disclosure and stuff like that. He believes that he can pretty much bring you out into the desert and it puts you in contact with ETs.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Duh. Yeah. Yeah. That's what it sounds like.
Okay.
That they're accessing these extraterrestrial intelligences. The Golden Dawn is a psychic warfare program. Now, some conspiracy theorists argue the Golden Dawn developed early forms of psychological manipulation, psychic influences, or astral warfare, possibly influencing political or military events. The theory often points to a ritual magic used for protection or attack, magical defense workings during internal conflicts. The skeptical view that there's no evidence that suggests large-scale psychic warfares. However, Golden Dawn practices were explicitly designed to influence consciousness, both personal and collective, which fuels speculation. So how will we know what they're doing if it's not tangible? That's the claim. There's a connection to the intelligence agencies. Because many Golden Dawn members were Freemasons, government officials, doctors, lawyers, and civil servants, some claim the order acted as a soft intelligence network, exchanging information under occult cover. The skeptical view said there's no proof of formal intelligence agency. Still, Victorian Britain was rife with overlapping clubs, lodges, and societies where influence naturally circulated, especially in the early 1900s. Why it sticks: secrecy, elite membership, secrecy plus elite membership plus symbolic language equals intelligence rumors. That one's like Illuminati, Freemasons, everything. Mm-hmm. Golden Dawn as a Luciferian cult. Anti-occult groups often portray the Golden Dawn as a Luciferian or satanic organization, citing Baphomet imagery, invocation rituals, non-Christian symbolism, Aleister Crowley's later reputation. Others, though, believe that the Golden Dawn was not satanic and explicitly rejected the devil worship. Its symbolism is Hermetic, Kabbalistic, and Neoplatonic, not diabolical. Why it persists, though, is misunderstanding of symbolism, combining with moral panic and Crowley's deliberate provocations. Ancient Egyptian or Atlantean origins. I love this one just because I like everything's pushed back to Egypt. Mm-hmm. The claim, some believe that the Golden Dawn preserved pre-Diluvian or Atlantean wisdom passed through Egypt, the Middle East, and secret European lineages. The cipher manuscripts are often cited as proof of lost ancient schools, unknown European mystery traditions, and hidden transmission of primordial knowledge. Some believe none of that is true as well, framing that the mythic framing was intentional and served initiatory psychology only. The cipher manuscripts is a hoax or a cover story. The claim is that the cipher manuscripts were either entirely forged by Westcott, a deliberate smokescreen hiding deeper tradition, or fragments of much older system intentionally obscured. The skeptic view is that the documents were real, but likely compiled, not ancient. Their purpose may have been practical rather than mystical. Why it matters is that the manuscripts were, if they were fabricated, it challenges the order's claimed legitimacy, yet not necessarily the effectiveness of the system. Aleister Crowley as a Golden Dawn weapon rogue is another one. The claim is that Crowley was allegedly trained too well, then expelled when he became dangerous, later using Golden Dawn's methods for darker purposes. Some go further, claiming that Crowley was a pawn of intelligence agencies or deliberately pushed to fracture the order. There's two more. 8 is the rituals as mind-controlling technology. Initiates were designed to reprogram identity, erase prior beliefs, and create obedient initiates. 9, the Golden Dawn still exists in secret. They claim the real Golden Dawn never ended and continues underground, influencing modern occultism, politics, and culture. With 8, the ritual's mind control technology, a lot of people believe that the Golden Dawn could be behind MK Ultra and any other kind. Did you watch all of Stranger Things?
Yeah, I did.
Some believe stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely believe, regardless of whether it's like a real order or not currently, it definitely has had a lot of influence on even just like mainstream media. Like just like it's had a lot of like, there's just TV shows or movies or things that are inspired by these topics. And so it is kind of seeping through our society.
If you were to join a secret society, which one would you join? Or would you, if like one came up to you, would you join it? Like, would you join?
I mean, this one sounds like one I would join for sure.
Because it seems like a little bit more natural. Like they're covering earth, wind, fire, air, and just like magic.
Yeah, like I think I want to kind of do a little bit of like a extra thing. Well, I want to let you finish, but then I kind of want to go in. Okay. Well, then let's look up really quick because I know Crowley, like So there's this really cool guy on TikTok who has like original books of Aleister, is his first name, right? Aleister Crowley. Are you okay over there?
I just choked.
Oh my God. Ew.
Just crying because it's over.
Hold on. Aleister. Because I'm pretty sure that his books, if I'm correct, one of his texts, like when you said that he's known as one of like the most sinister people, right? That's one of
the wickedest man alive.
Wickedest man alive. Yeah. So I don't want to say this completely incorrectly, but I'm pretty sure that one of his texts that he wrote was part of the reason that some of the original witch trials happened.
Wait, when were the witch trials?
Well, there's been like different periods of witch trials throughout the world, specifically in England, or over in Europe. But this guy who collects books, but then to me that's confusing, because if he is an occultist himself, then why is he, damning people to this?
Yeah, wouldn't they want to be pro-witch?
Yeah, I don't know. Hold on. 1 second. 1 second. Looking this up. We can.
It here is saying that Crowley opened gateways to non-human intelligences, including demons, interdimensional beings, and extraterrestrials. Crowley deliberately seeded ideas that later exploded into sexual revolution, rock and roll occult imagery, drug experimentation, and radical individualism. That he heavily influenced the Beatles, Zeppelin, Jack Parsons, and Timothy Leary.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know what Aleister. Hold on, one more thing.
Sex magic as a control or power technology. Crowley used sexual rituals not for spirituality, but for manipulation, domination, and energetic extraction.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me that he would be... I don't know. I have to find it and I'll send you the link because I'm not entirely sure. But yeah. But I know he used Ouija boards a lot throughout his practices, and it was like a again kind of going back to what I was saying earlier about how it's like normal for them to be interacting with spirits. It's not like a weird thing, or interacting with the spirit realm. I think is really cool. Like, I feel like for me as a ghost hunter, I appreciate it a lot. Yes, I do have, like, I don't know, I think it's good to be skeptical in the sense, in my realm, because you go in and it's like you hear a thump. Okay, like, was that evidence of spirit realm, or was it just a thump? I do think that is useful. However, something that, like, I really do appreciate surrounding myself with people that I'm not sitting there trying to convince them that ghosts are real, like the spirit realm is real. We've gotten past that, and now we can have normal, regular conversations about that realm.
Why do people think that like a ghost just could mean or equal scary or demonic? Where like angels are kind of ghost.
Yeah.
Right? We consider some angels, some demonic, but it's like that thud could have came from an angel.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I genuinely think it's because of our media and, like the unknown. It's just unknown and scary. You can't see it, so it's scary. Like the idea of someone looking at you that you can't see and being in your room, like that's scary. Or seeing like a shadow figure, that's scary. I mean, you have your stories, and they're very scary, rightfully so. So I think, and then also we grow up, like with older siblings or older cousins who are telling us ghost stories and chasing us around the house, or even Halloween. Like there's so many young, like your influences when we're young that are establishing a scary foundation around this topic. Like Halloween by itself, even though it wasn't originally, I mean, I guess it is kind of it's not scary, but it's like you do certain things to, like, there are certain traditions that are meant to protect you from spirits or ward off evil spirits, or, you know, I don't know. Like,
but someone like an Aleister Crowley, you maybe think that like the real conspiracy could just be he wants you to talk about him forever. So he knows what's going to trigger you, right? It's almost like he was the original clickbait, where he's like, I'm going to call myself the Great B666 because people are going to now think I'm demonic. Some people are going to come flocking to me. Others are going to hate me. And the ones who hate me are going to talk about me a lot to tell people not to go near me.
Sure. Wait, this is a really good point. My last thing that I want to Google, why was he so labeled as so sinister or wicked?
Well, in here it says that the symbolism, right? No, that's
just
fine.
The symbolism?
Like the symbolism he used, he was able to access, I guess, he was influential in some kinds of sexual resurgence, sexual revolution, rock and roll occult imagery, drug experimentation, and radical individualism.
Yeah.
Dude, I might be fucking Aleister Crowley then. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it says, he just actively challenged the strict religious and social norms of the Victorian and Edwardian eras. It
could have been his time, right? Just when he was around, you know?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Like if you questioned any kind of like Catholicism in the 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s, they'd be like, you're a hippie. Or you're demonic, or I mean, geez, if you screwed up dinner as a woman in the 1800s, you were a witch.
Yeah,
you know?
Right.
So like,
right, absolutely. No, I was just thinking about something like this earlier. Oh my God, whatever. We can get onto this topic later, but or maybe not. Social norms drive me nuts, because again, going back to what we were kind of talking about with the secret societies, and you talk about like sexuality, and like we've created these social norms around sexuality, which has then led to sexual interests being used against you, in like ways of, you know, like crazy initiation or like crazy ways of control and things like that, when the reality is like, you could just go and like explore your fetish or explore your sexuality in much healthier ways instead of joining a secret society that's going to shame you forever on this thing and blackmail you forever,
or try to get you to tap into the stuff that they know is shameful and get you to, like the Epstein stuff. They tried, you know, if everything that came out was true, they get you to go to an island and partake in some stuff that is some dirty,
like horrible
stuff
things
that is not okay.
Yeah, it's so.
Maybe that's the demonic part of it. They're getting you to do things that are not okay.
Sure, for sure. You think Aleister Crowley was doing stuff like that? Like, I mean, I guess he did have. It says he had. I mean, who knows?
Here's one. The Book of Law was dedicated to him by a non-human intelligence named Iwas. What makes this disturbing is that Crowley insisted Iwas was not imaginary. He described it as existing outside himself. The language resembles modern accounts of interdimensional contact. The fear isn't demons. It's the possibility that consciousness can be overwritten. The Amalantra working, one of Crowley's least discussed experiments, involved sustained rituals to contact beings beyond ordinary perception. Reported outcome includes fragmented personalities, automatic writing that frightened even Crowley, descriptions of entities that did not behave symbolically. It sounds like he was trying to tap into some stuff and he wasn't sure what he was tapping into.
Mm-hmm. Now I really want you to cover like the Luciferian stuff, because I want to know selfishly, I want to know the root of these.
Well, if people are trying to always tap into, if they're trying to tap into God, right, and a higher being, and if they believe there's like a yin and a yang and whatnot of like religion, if one is God and then the other is some like the darker side, like people try to tap into that all the time through usually like people will think a Ouija board or some kind of darkness. So when someone does something like this and they're not even sure what ground or what kind of magic they're getting into at the moment, I mean, they're not even sure where they're going with it. Have you seen damn, you haven't, that show Evil?
No, I haven't. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
Because they kind of do this by accident. Sometimes they go into this dark world and they're like, oh shit, we don't know where we're at right now.
Yeah. Well, that's something I think is really cool too about like this society. Oh, this was a question I had. Was there a school? Was there like a building that they all met at? Like this society?
Like a Mason Lodge or something?
Yeah. Like how did they, because it sounded like they had specific teachings. Were they just like meeting? Are these all adults? Was this a school?
I don't know. There was a house where the Blythe Road, it was like 96 Blythe Road. That's where along the belongings were.
Okay.
Because Crowley, after the fight, tried to get back into the building to get a lot of the belongings out.
Okay. Yeah, because there are schools. Like there's somebody who I think I follow her on TikTok, and she goes to like, it's not Hogwarts, but like a place that's like that. Like there's a school that just is entire. It's not like going to Temple University. It's just like where there's like, math, science, history, whatever, English, and different courses. It's like magic courses, and she attends it, and you kind of have this. It sounds like you're learning about the world, but from a different perspective, which is this more holistic, like, perspective, which I think is kind of nice.
Yeah, but I feel like our world is run by religion these days, and religion says it's bad,
Yeah, but I guess that's I was just thinking about if I had a kid, because I wish that I went to a school like that. And then I think about if I had a kid, should I send them to that school? And like, would they be like, I mean, of course, this is more so at the college level. Like once you've gone through your normal education, now you can choose to go in this direction, which I think is a little bit better.
Do you know about like the School of the Gifted that like Da Vinci was part of? Like Leonardo da Vinci was in, Michelangelo was in. It was an underground, and then like the School of Pythagoras. Do you know about those? They were like secret societies that were. This is kind of what it sounds like. Like I think they were called the School of the Gifted, and a lot of those highly intelligent individuals, artists and philosophers, they were part of this. And but eventually it was, I think, originally created by the Medici family, and it was run underground. But if they were caught by church, being part of the society, they were excommunicated and possibly put to death. But they had these little societies underground that they were teaching them higher education. And then you had the Pythagoreans. He had his own secret society. Like Pythagoras, like a squared plus b squared equals c squared. He had his own secret society. That was also.
This is crazy. Like this is Well, you asked me. I don't know if I would join this secret society, but it sounds more in my realm compared to all the other ones. But what one would you join if you could?
I don't agree with the dark side of some of this.
I know. Okay. Yeah, what are you?
So when I was having the conversation with the guy at the wedding, he had his ring, he had his order, his everything on there, what he was part of, which was a Freemason society. I know the guy's name. I actually can contact him. I tried to ask him to come on here, and he's like, I can't really do that. But he made it sound like it was a brotherhood, and he's like, I can't talk about the rituals, but you do go through the rituals. Yeah. And it didn't sound like very sinister. He's like, we just make an oath to never talk about the rituals that we do. And he's like, you can join if you want. And he's a Freemason. And I said, okay, maybe I'll do that.
Well, so...
but then he also said, are you part of a secret society? I said, no.
Yep.
And then I said, well, I go to AA. And he said, well, that's kind of the same thing. And I was like, no, we don't really have a ritual. He's like, well, explain to me what AA is. And I went through the 12 steps, and I went through the purge. So the first 3, right? 1's acceptance, 2 and 3 are a connection with a higher being. And I'm like, yeah. And as I'm explaining, I'm like, oh, shit. And then like 4 and 5 is a purging, and to tell somebody all your deepest, darkest secrets. That's what 4 and 5 is. To tell someone the stuff that you swore you were...
In AA, do that?
4 is to write down every bad thing that you've ever done. Right? Or that's not exactly what it is, but it is. You do end up doing that. Then the 5th one is to tell somebody all your deepest, darkest secrets. To transcend shame. Right? To get it all out. So you don't hold it with you. 6 and 7 is to find out those character defects of what makes you you. And how to overcome the bad ones and keep the good ones. Then 8 and 9 is to go out and make amends. And then you find a daily practice at 10 of repeating 9. And then 11 is a connection with a spirituality and a meditation. And then 12 is to just make sure somebody else goes through 1 through 11. So I was explaining it to him. I was going, fuck, maybe I am in some kind of secret society, because he's like, that's what we do.
I think that's a really powerful message, though, because I think that that's the root of like most religious cults in general. Like, is like it starts at a very like good place. It just with these like going back to like the cult we were talking about with the Wild Wild West. It's like you have like a very like an extremist leader who just is like suddenly they become, who knows what happens in their brain, but then there becomes this like psychic coming situation, this like highly narcissistic, egotistical individual who is like the prophet and, you know, of the group, and like the all-knowing leader of the group, and then they like take that way too far, and then you know, like Jamestown, and then, you know, you drink the Kool-Aid, but like before that tipping point there is a good
element to it, and then it just goes awry. Yeah,
and there are good people within these cults. Like there's like, you know, like Jamestown is such a fascinating one to talk about. Do you know Jamestown?
Is that Mike or what's his name?
I forget his name, but that's where the like, I don't want to call slogan, but like the line "drinking the Kool-Aid," that's where that comes from.
Yeah, what's his name?
The story of Jamestown.
What's his name? I know exactly what you're talking about. Mike Jones. Is that Mike Jones? Is that it could be a different one?
It's Jonestown. I'm saying it in thank God you got there.
Yeah, because I was like, Jamestown. That sounds like the first settlement. I was like, I think that was Virginia.
I'm thinking about Pocahontas and
Jamestown.
No, it's
the second settlement.
Sorry,
I think it's called Roanoke.
Oh God, dang it!
John Smith and Jamestown.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. No. Okay, Jonestown. Oh my God, I was really confident for so long.
No, but I was on it. I was like, I'm not going to correct her because I could be wrong too.
No, I'm really glad you. I'm really glad you got there.
Jonestown is Mike Jones, I think. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right. Is it Mike though? Or are we just throwing out a name?
Well, I know that song, Mike Jones. Mike Jones. You know that song?
No.
Oh, it's a rap song.
Oh.
It starts out Mike Jones.
Oh, that's so creepy.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. And
yeah, they all drank the Kool-Aid and died. Except for him, right? I don't think he drank it. I think everyone else except.
No, I think he...
Yo, they drink the Kool-Aid in Midnight Mass.
Yes.
They do. Then they die just like this to be brought back to eternal life. They do live an eternal life if they just don't go out in the sun.
Yeah, I have chills thinking about it. Yeah, totally. I mean, such a. I mean, I don't want to say weird, but like it's such an interesting and Jonestown is really fascinating because there's footage of these reporters, like they were like, there's something off about what's going on here. Have you seen this footage?
And they show up like a day too late.
No, they get there. They get there early, and somebody slips them a note and says, like, help us. Like, they know.
Shit.
Yeah, that they know. And so then the reporters turn around. They're like, they basically say, because they have these, like, 2 planes. They basically say, like, anyone who wants to come back with us, come back with us right now. Like, and they like say it to the guy, like in front of the guy. He's like, get on the plane right now. Like, stand behind me, you know? And they get attacked. But like, there were people, like these survivors of Jonestown, they were the people that got on the plane and they left. Because they were like, this
there's
isn't.
Survivors of Jonestown?
There are survivors. Yeah, there were, I would say maybe like maybe 10 people that like they like were put on the plane and sent home. They made it out but like it's really horrible. Like there's footage of, you know, families being ripped apart from each other because like parents, let's say like a husband and wife couldn't agree. So they were like, you know, let's say the mother is like, I got to get my kid out of here. And so she's ripping like the kid away from the father or vice versa. Because they believed in
brainwashed.
Yeah, like they believed in it. And so there were there were things like that. Really, really, really horrible, but also really fascinating. You know, from a psychology perspective, you know, I can only imagine like again, it's like it's heartbreaking to me to think because a lot of these people, and if you listen to interviews on the people who did survive, they talk about like, you know, when you are joining a cult or let's say a secret society or something like that, like it can happen to anyone because the original foundations are good and pure and like you want a better life for yourself and
sounds like Scientology. You know what Scientology?
Oh yeah.
Do you have your Going Clear? Do you know what that is?
I watched the show, but I don't remember what that means.
That's like when you, similar to AA, but different. They record every deepest, darkest secret.
Right.
But they record it.
Yeah.
So you tell everybody all the bad things that you've done, and then it's eventually used as blackmail.
That's so sad because, like, you know, from the perspective of AA, like, I can
Such
totally,
a good thing.
yeah,
it's the most healing part of the process.
Yeah, and it's not when you were talking about like the shame element, like they are not shaming you. It's like you have shame around it already. So let me like voice it. Let me get it out. Let me kind of own up to these actions and these things and get it out of the body, which is very healthy. It's like, you know, that's a healthy thing to do.
Oh, it's the best part. It's like getting rid of that baggage.
Yeah.
That you're holding on to. It is the most healing part because you're supposed to sit in, after you tell somebody all your deepest, darkest secrets and people you resent and all this stuff, you're supposed to sit in an hour-long meditation after that by yourself. And I always think for about 2 weeks is where the process of healing starts. You just feel yourself getting a little lighter and a little lighter. And you're like, oh, my God, I'm not that bad of a person. I'm not.
Yeah, that's so nice.
And usually if you have a good sponsor, they kind of sit there with you like, and let you know that you're not a bad person. You just did some things that may not be so good.
Yeah. And again, it can happen to anyone. It's not like, and I think that, you know, all of these lessons are important for everyone. Like I don't know, but I wonder, I mean, not wonder why, but yeah, looking at like Aleister Crowley and like this society, I'm like, yeah, what were they doing? I guess, yeah, it was just the time that they were in and they were just seen as. So
far, it doesn't sound like he was the worst guy. Like the way that, at least from the stuff we've looked up about him, obviously we didn't go, this wasn't about Aleister Crowley, this was about the Hermetic Order, the Golden Dawn, right?
Sure, yeah.
So we should say that.
Yeah.
Because if
fair.
we want to cover the Aleister Crowley, we could. Because right now, I just looked at some other stuff, and it's like why people find him scary. And it says the Beast 666 is, you know, he embraced that. His dark occult rituals, which were blood magic, sex magic, long periods of drug use and sleep deprivation, his death and sacrifice rumors. Newspapers accused him of animal sacrifice, human sacrifice. A follower died during a ritual in Sicily from illness, after which Crowley was expelled from the country. Mind control and cult behavior. Mm-hmm. He broke people psychologically. He ran cult-like groups where he broke people psychologically, encouraged total obedience, tested followers with extreme rituals. Many followers ended up mentally or physically ruined. Drugs and madness. He was a heavy user of heroin, cocaine, and opium. Influence on horror and pop culture. He inspired occult horror movies, satanic panic myths, characters in movies, games, and music. And then his creepy death. Oh, look at this. He died poor, addicted, and paranoid. His funeral included occult chants causing public outrage. Some people claim his house and belongings are cursed.
Huh. Oh, okay. Yeah. I've heard of that. Getting down all the way down to the bottom of the list, huh?
The Crowley house?
Yeah, and like his items. Like I've heard like there's something about like, you know, the I think this is like the Vampa Museum. I feel like I think that there's like a Ouija board that has been made over the years that like is inspired by him. Oh, I wanted to ask you this. Okay, well first to what you were saying about him. Yeah, not great. All those things are bad. I don't like those I don't want to say all those things are bad, but like it's like, you know.
Would Jesus have liked him? Would he? Maybe we should do that whole what would Jesus do type thing. Like people are like, oh, he wasn't that bad. Well, maybe Jesus would. Jesus would be like, everyone's a child of God. I don't know. But like,
yeah, no, he sounds like it's extreme. It's extremist, yeah, and like cult-like, and for sure. And you know, the idea of control, like it's always going back, like it's like, what is the for these people who are? I keep going back to the Wild Wild West group, but like,
did you watch it?
Yeah,
I gotta watch
the documentary. I kind of stopped watching it because I was just getting honestly like disturbed by. I just was like, okay, that's enough. Like, I get it. You guys are whatever.
It's usually run by someone who's not too level-headed, like Bikram. Do you know Bikram yoga? Yeah. Do you know his whole thing? Mm-mm. He started Bikram yoga, and now he was buying all these fancy cars, but then it turned into 1,000 sexual allegations. So now he's banished. People still use people still use his yoga. Yeah. Because it's great. Yeah. It's hot. It's like, you know, in a room like 95
it's hot
plus degrees.
Yoga. We talked about this before. Wasn't it just that, like, okay, I don't want to make this huge accusation, but someone said to me that, like, hot yoga was originally created by this guy who just wanted to be in a room with a bunch of sweaty women.
Oh, Bikram. I think that's him. And he would host these, to become a Bikram teacher, he would host the retreats that were the most intense thing ever. It was like 8 hours of yoga a day, like no water, all this stuff. Like if you wanted to, it was pretty much you had to survive it to become a teacher of Bikram. Mm-hmm. But apparently it started out as something good, like a very extreme type of yoga. And then he just started to get a little corrupt.
A little weird. Yeah, where is that tipping point? I'm so curious. Like,
yeah, does this start out like that? And then you start going like, oh, I got a little power and influence. People are looking up to me. Oh, I like this power.
Like with Aleister Crowley specifically, it sounds like he had a lot of, you know, he was doing a lot of drug abuse. So I could see how that just going to change your brain for a while, especially while you're doing, you know, all of these other things.
I always think this too, like everyone was a kid once. Mm-hmm. You know, like everyone has a childhood, you know? Yeah. Like even like Mao had a childhood. Hitler had a childhood. Mm-hmm. Bikram had a childhood. Crowley had a childhood. They were all 12 years old one time. They were all 15 years old one time. They were just kids. When does that switch?
Yeah.
You know?
I know. And then what makes me sad too is when you see certain horrible stories and then you like look at their childhood and people will be like, oh, like there were signs or like you saw it. But it's like, what are you supposed to do with a child? Like imagine being their parent. Oh my God. Well, okay, a lot of these parents are probably like, there's probably something bad, you know, like, I don't know, but maybe there isn't. Like, there are also, like, people who just make, you know, bad choices and it.
Well, do you believe in, like, exorcism and demonic possession?
Yeah. I guess. The thing is, like, it's like, I feel like I can't say no because of the other things that, like, I've seen and experienced and also, like, come on this podcast and tell stories about. Like, I can tell stories about portals and spirits and dark entities, or just like or just past loved ones. So I think it would be wrong of me to say no. However, I've never seen it myself, and I have a problem with like the Catholic Church being like very involved in that. I'm distrusting of the Catholic Church as an umbrella.
Yeah.
So I am distrusting of their language and their terminology around things, like always. Like the fact that they even just have like labeled sins, like that we would then like that are defined differently than the way I would define like an evil person or a sinful person. That already to me leads me to believe that the like going to the next level, I'm not going to align with it. So in terms of like a demon or evil spirits or possession or the devil, I struggle with it.
What if you don't believe in a God? Then how do you believe in the devil? You know?
Yeah.
But then there's all these, there's also, seems like every society throughout history, whether you live in, you know, the jungles of Africa or in, you know, Europe in the 1500s or the Mayans or anything like that, they all seem to have very similar stories by the different name.
Yeah. I am very humble to, like, I don't know what I believe in, but I don't, like, and I say that very humbly. Like, I'm very open. But then I'm very skeptical of those who say this is what it is.
Because someone told them it. Like, they don't know it. That's the one thing that bothers me about some religions is what bothers me about fighting through religions the most is if everyone just took a pause and said, you weren't born with this knowledge. Somebody taught you this knowledge, okay?
Yeah.
And somebody taught you this knowledge and somebody taught me this knowledge, okay? And now we're fighting about what somebody else taught us.
Yeah.
And that's what I just find so wild about any kind of feud between religions.
Right.
And even countries.
Yeah. Which is then why it then comes to, it's not even about religion anymore. It's about control. Like, speaking of, not speaking of a heretic. Yeah. It isn't about religion at all or belief at all. It's just controlling the masses. And when you look at different people who rose through the ranks of this secret society, they started to then use it for like elements of control in their daily lives.
At least they're practicing some kind of ritual to maybe access something that's non-human. Because that control part is human.
Yeah.
Right? At least they're like, all right, well, maybe I'm going to access something non-human or interdimensional. Mm-hmm. Maybe they got it right. And they're like, oh, we're accessing something outside of here. And then it breaks them away and they become an outcast because they can't be controlled anymore.
Mm-hmm. But
you know what I mean?
Funny to me is that, like, even if you go to church, like, I've said this to so many people. I'm like, you go to church and you say prayer, you light candles, you drink
ritual.
Yeah, you drink the blood of Christ. You eat the body of Christ. Like, yeah, it's like it's a ritual. It is a ritual every single time you go and do it. And there's, to me, like saying, you know, it's not, I'm not saying that that's wrong. It just is. So then if you're going to go and shame like an occult, like someone who's considered an occultist or who believes in something else, it's like, well.
Because they can't control that cult leader.
Yeah.
A cult leader.
Yeah.
But, yeah, when you go to Catholic Church, you're pretty much, if there is an argument that you are practicing in a ritual of cannibalism. Mm-hmm. You're eating the body and blood of Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're saying your mantras. You're saying the same prayers that you do every single time. Like, you're getting down on your knees, be very subservient.
Oh,
like,
yeah, submissive.
Yeah. It's, and again, nothing, I'm not saying it's wrong. It just is incredible to me that they find that they can then
bash somebody else who's like, hey,
yeah,
you're doing the same thing we are, but you're not with us.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah. Like, I draw the line for sure at animal and human sacrifice. That's where I draw the line personally. I'm like, all right.
There's a lot of animal sacrifices in the Bible. There's tons. Do you know about, gosh, I can't believe I'm about to, Isaiah?
I don't know any
I'm
Bible
pretty sure it's Isaiah,
story.
but God is testing him by bringing his only son up to the mountain. He's supposed to sacrifice his son. Okay, do you know the story? I believe it's Isaiah. I could be wrong on this. I believe it is. Whether or not this is the story. God tells him that he is supposed to sacrifice his only son, Abraham. Maybe it's Abraham. It's Abraham, not Isaiah. It's Abraham. And he goes, no, what are you talking about? I can't do this. I don't know if he spoke like that. But he...
You kidding me?
Yeah, he's nodded. Bro. He carries him. He starts walking him all the way up the mountain, and he's supposed to sacrifice him on top of this mountain. And right before he does it, God says, no, just kidding. I was just testing you. Mm-hmm. And then he has to sacrifice a lamb.
Okay. Joe and I, when we were in Boston, I think I told you about these guys. We sat next to these two men and they asked, they're like, oh, are you here for the religious conference? Did I tell you about this?
No.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was very fascinating. Like, Joe, we were in this cigar lounge. It was really cool. Really cool. But, yeah, they're like, are you here for the religious conference? And we were like, no. And at first I was like, oh boy, like a little bit like, oh, we're about to get these like men who are going to like preach whatever or shame whatever. And I was like, please don't do this like on our trip away. But we both like end up talking to these guys for hours. And what was really fun is, of course, like I'm, hopped up on a few martinis. I was also, so the religious conference, this is so fascinating to me. They said that it was 12,000 people that were in Boston for this conference from all over the world. And they were people from all different religions from all over the world that come to study the Bible together.
Kind of like a cult, but okay.
It is, but because it's all different religions, to me, they were just like, let's come together and let's...
Like world religions.
Yeah, and they were like, let's study the Bible together and really try and find the true meaning of the Bible collectively. Like, not as like individual separate religions. Let's all come together and study this text. Which to me was like, I was like, I love this. Like, okay, so... This
is like my favorite topic.
Yeah.
I'd sit there for it.
Yes, absolutely. It was, oh my God. And they appreciated me that I brought up the Anunnaki. It was literally after
Wait, was this recently?
Yes.
Oh.
This was when I went to Boston, like, just a month ago. And, it was right after you and I had filmed the Anunnaki episode, and you told me all that, and so I start talking about that to them, and they're chuckling, but they were so open-minded to the things that, well, I don't know if they were like buying into what I was saying, but they let me talk, and they were like really having real conversations with me about it. And
what points did you bring up on that?
No, it wasn't like I was like arguing. I just was just sharing what you were sharing with me, that I was like, oh, it's basically our Genesis story from the perspective of like, if aliens, like if it was like aliens,
if they were our God or something.
Yeah. And we kind of went in that direction. But the guy, the reason I'm bringing this up is he seems a little extreme. He's very nice. They were both very nice. But the one guy was like, oh yeah, he's like, the story, he tells the story of Abraham, which, the one that you just told. And he's like, yeah, I actually like was teaching my sons this lesson. And I, basically like pretended like I was going to stab my one son. And my other son was like, Dad, no. He's like, and then I froze. And I told him the story of Abraham. And I was like, sounds like a fun childhood. Okay.
Yeah.
But they were supposed to send it out. I'm talking about it. The guy wrote a book. I don't know if it's a manifesto. It kind of sounded like one, but he wrote a book, and he was supposed to send it to me and Joe. And now I'm thinking about it. Joe like gave him his email, They were supposed to send us a copy, but I don't know if we ever got it. I'll bring it here though, for you to read too, if you want, if we do have it, because it was really interesting to talk to these people, and it gave me hope in our society, like in terms of religion, because I was like, wow, there are people in this world that are like, let's all come together as one. Let's not like, be judgmental towards other religions. Let's just come together and like from all the different perspectives that we have, let's try and get to the bottom of this, which is cool.
All right, so to wrap up the Hermetic Order, the Golden Dawn, kind of what you were saying though, Hermetic Order of Golden Dawn wasn't apparently created until 1888. I think the Illuminati was created in 1776. A lot believe it was created before. I just think that kind of what you're saying, that all these people are coming together. Mm-hmm. When people start creating these orders, it's a group of people. There was no technology. There wasn't phones. There wasn't TVs. There wasn't all that stuff. Just guys coming together and meeting. Women weren't always allowed in these, I don't think. I'm sorry. There is the women of Freemasonry now. There is. It's people coming together and starting to maybe tap into like, well, what are we doing right now? Like, think about Socrates had his own secret society. A society of philosophers all coming together. I think kind of what you were saying before, that it starts out as a good thing, a group of people coming together to have similar ideas and to just explore what's inside your mind, my mind, and others. And then this one seems to be touching into, the natural elements as well. And then it turned into a little bit of magic.
Yeah.
And how do we access some of this stuff?
I know. I mean, I want to practice. I want to be magical.
Yeah, and then you create orders, and it's like, all right, first order is you just have you just are an initiate. We're going to tell you what it is. Second order, you're going to go over the baseline. Third order, we're going to bring you there, but we're not going to let you get to the next one until you finish the one. That doesn't sound that crazy, but I guess is where it gets crazy, is someone like an Aleister Crowley practicing blood magic, sacrifice. And I think that he probably didn't start out like that. He didn't go in day one and go, let's kill it,
Yeah, sure.
He probably went in, got through all the orders, and went, well, there isn't a next order. Yeah. What if I start sacrificing? Mm-hmm. What if I start sex magic? Mm-hmm. What if I start using what I know and tapping into more sinister like things? Yeah. How can I control somebody with this? Now I feel a little bit more superior. My ego's up there. Now so I can see where it doesn't start out this way, but then ends up going some way.
I know you said you wanted to wrap it up, but I kind of wanted to.
No, I don't have to wrap it up. I just want to.
There was one. We were talking about therapy last week, and you brought up Satanic Panic. He's the inspiration for some Satanic Panic things in modern media. So, and that's why We Drink podcast had a listeners episode about Satanic Panic. They were like, everyone just send in, like, if you have any kind of story about this, send it in. Someone sent in this story about how they aren't related to this individual, but this woman, she started to become extremely paranoid. She was just really struggling with postpartum depression and things like that. And she ended up going to see this therapist. I'm pretty sure that this is like the 3rd millionth time I brought up the Church of Latter-day Saints. And I don't mean to totally like blasphemy them, I'm pretty sure that they are part of this community. And so she was then seeing a therapist that was part of this community. The therapist ultimately ended up this individual who was writing in this story said that after this woman went to these therapy sessions, she got so much worse. She was basically just completely convinced she was like manipulated into this delusional state where she just thought that like everyone around her was like a demon and was like just like possessed and evil, all these things, like horrible things, to the point that this woman ended up completely isolating herself into her home, I think away from her husband, her children, her community, everyone, her family. And this therapist just like convinced her of these like horrific things. And that was rooted in Satanic Panic, apparently, supposedly. Like that, it was rooted in, again, the like devil worshipping, demon, like possession, all this stuff. And it led to that in her life.
No, I believe in that. Again, that TV show Evil, the evil guy is a therapist.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, who creates, and this is maybe the second or third season, but that's what he's doing. He's a therapist who wants people to act out on some of the sinister stuff he needs done. So he starts targeting a couple people that he knows are like struggling.
Yeah.
And he starts like pushing the gun towards them, or pushing like, he starts brainwashing them a little bit first, and then like almost emphasizing their ideas. They go to therapy because they're struggling with, that they feel like they might want to kill someone.
Yeah.
And then he kind of just makes it
pushes
bigger.
them to do it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's oh god, it's so fascinating but horrible at the same time. And yeah, the paranoia and Satanic Panic and fearing the unknown, like back to your question of like, why are people afraid of these things? Like, I do think it's primarily the fear of the unknown and loss of control. And then my last question I wanted to ask you, have you ever used a Ouija board?
Not, I mean, I've played with one.
Oh.
That's it. Like, I've never actually sat there and done anyone showed me really how to do it. I mean, I've been there with a group of friends, been like, oh, Ouija board. Oh, I used a Ouija board in the oldest, right next to the oldest cemetery.
The Slate Hill Cemetery?
No, in Florida.
Oh.
In St. Augustine. I met these two girls at a bar, and they were like, we have a Ouija board. We're going to the cemetery right now. And I said, okay.
Oh, my God.
We sat in this fucking cemetery with a Ouija board. I have no idea what came of it. I'll say my life didn't get better after that day. For a little bit.
Damn it.
Yeah.
That's really
I forgot
funny.
about that now that you're saying that, yeah.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That's hilarious. That is 100% something that I would do to someone in my single days. I'd be like, hey.
I have a Ouija board. We're going to cemetery.
Yeah, come on in.
And we're sitting there with them. Just going,
we're going to. That's actually how I picked up Joe. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. You Ouija'd him.
I made one.
What? You can make one?
Well, yeah. Well, so okay, here's my school of thought. If it's real, why can't I make one? You know what I mean? Like,
oh, yeah.
If it's just, that was why I made one.
I don't understand.
Like, if it's real, then, like, because, like, people are like, oh, it's magnets in the board, or it's this, or it's that, or, like, magnets in the thing. So I'm like, well, then I'm just going to make one myself. And if something happens.
Magnets in it?
No.
Oh.
No, there aren't.
Do you really believe that there's some kind of...
Well, I have no idea about if you buy a Ouija board at a toy store or, like, at a place, like, I have no idea what that is. Like, I know it's a board. Why, you want to get one? I could bring the one that I have.
The one you made?
Yeah.
Well...
It worked.
What do you mean it worked? What does worked mean?
It moved. Like, the thing... Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it means.
Okay. So I just took the back of a hard canvas, like a painting canvas. I wrote the alphabet out, like the same way that a Ouija board is. Yes, no, goodbye, see you later. No, the alphabet. And we used our planchette, is what it's called. It was basically like the top of a bottle that's like the same size as that, maybe a little bit smaller. And we just put it on the floor. I told my roommates, I was like, okay, we're going to do this because, again, I want to see if it's real. And again, theoretically, if it's real, it should work because it's the spirit realm. It's not anything to do with the objects, right? So we all put our fingers on it. And we're sitting in my apartment, and we did it. And I said to them, too, I said, I'm doing this for real. Like, no, I was like, if we're going to do it, you have to agree that we're going to close it out properly. Like, I will lead it. I'm perfectly fine with, like, I'll be the leader of this session. But you have to promise me that you're not going to, like, jump out and be like, no, I'm done, and run away or mess with me. Like, you need to sit here and...
So you want to do the full ceremony.
Yeah, like, we're doing it. And you have to say goodbye. When we all agree, like, we have to say goodbye and we need to close it out.
Say goodbye to who?
You say goodbye. You need to, like, close out the spirit realm. So, like, you can essentially, like, open it up and be like, okay, if anyone's here, you can come forward and you can interact with us. We do this in ghost hunting. We do this, like, just, like, with our equipment. Amanda will, like, it's like a medium who's channeling will essentially kind of open that door to them. So, you know, again, theoretically, you can do this with the Ouija board. So you sit there, you say, you know, you can say, if anybody's here, you can, you know, come forward and you can interact with us. You can speak to us. And then you see what happens. And we sat there. It felt like it must have been about 5 minutes that we sat there and nothing was going on. And it was one of those moments where all three of us were a little bit like, how long do we wait? You know, like, what do we do? And it probably was 5 minutes that felt like 10. Like, it just felt so long. We're sitting there, and I swear to God, all of a sudden, this thing starts moving with a force. Like, I have never experienced anything like this in my life. It was like, shoom, shoom, like all over the board. Yes, it was amazing, and it was insane. And I kind of didn't. Again, like, I think I am forever going to be going through this spiritual journey of, like, what do I believe? Where, like, you know, again, like, I'm kind of like, I think I believe in the general laws of physics that I've been taught. But then when I'm seeing this, I'm like, suddenly that's going out the window. I'm seeing something move. And what was also mind-blowing is that we were going for about 90 minutes. And as you can imagine, your arm starts to get tired. Like, you're like on, and you don't want to influence it. Like, you don't want to put more weight on this thing.
Something else was moving this board around, or this thing on the board around.
We all took breaks. Like individually, we would all be like, okay, I got to take a break. Then we would take our finger off and we'd still sit there asking questions.
Who else did this with you?
My 2 roommates at the time. And it was moving around. And then it got to a point where it kind of seemed like it was slowing down, like wasn't answering our questions as much.
Did you ask for anybody to come move it?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Not anyone specifically. We were very open, like, whoever's here, because we believed our apartment was haunted. This was after, like, we saw, like, 2 people claim to see the man in the yellow shirt at the end of the hallway. Yeah. So my roommates were like, can we do it? We want to know who's here. And we, you know, that was...
Find out? Well, what was it? Was it moving to letters?
It was, yeah. It was moving to letters.
Did you try to remember those letters?
I actually, crazy enough, recorded the session on my laptop. But then what was so crazy, too, is that I went and looked at the footage and half of it was blacked out. And then when it hit that blacked out, my computer went brrr, like this crazy, loud, horrible feedback sound comes flying through the speakers. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? This is crazy. I was like, okay, I'll whatever. I'll just show my roommates in the morning. Close my laptop. The next morning, I go to show them. It's normal again, like the video. So I have it on like an old laptop somewhere. I do remember, okay, I can tell this one story about this person that came through. But like, okay, there's a guy named John that was coming through. Now, John is obviously an incredibly common name. So, but whoever the spirit was kept... my roommate's name is Zoe, and it kept spelling out her name. It kept going like Zoe, Zoe, like specifically wanted to talk to her. She was one of the people that saw the man. So we're like, okay, like, he wants to talk to you. Weird stuff was coming up. Like we were like, oh, like, you know, how old are you? Said 8, spelled the word 8. Oh, there's also numbers on the Ouija board too. Like, so that they could do that. But so you could do dates and stuff. But 8, we said, did you die here? No. Where did you die? It spells out Spain. It also then spelled out ship. And
oh, maybe they came from Spain into Philadelphia.
Maybe. But this was a very weird thing that happened too. And I hope Zoe doesn't mind that I tell this story. Basically, there was like Zoe, all of a sudden her eyes are getting like really big. And she's like getting freaked out. And I was like, do you know a John? like who's a child? Like, what's going on? And she's like, this is really weird. Like, I don't even know if I can like tell this story. And I was like, what? Like, why? Who is this? And she's like, long story short, her parents were going to adopt a child that they were going to name John. who then ultimately they put down the deposit. They went to go get this child, and they get to the adoption agency, and it was basically like a fraud. But the adoption agency claimed that they were like, all the children have been like kidnapped and like on it. Like, this sounds so crazy. But they were like, this is insane. I was like, what? Like, I was like, I was like, don't mind the Ouija board real quick. Like, tell me what happened. Like, did they report this? Like, what? So she's like, all the children were kidnapped. They were put on a ship to Spain.
What?
Yeah, like, yeah. So Zoe is like looking at these words like unfolding, and she's like, I don't know if this would have relevance, but like, this is weird, you know? Like, it's like a very weird connection. Yeah.
Yeah.
So who knows?
I'm glad you told this story.
No, I'm sorry. Right at the end.
No, this is great. Hopefully it's clippable.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it.
Yeah. But that was the story of when we did the Ouija board, and we did end up, after a while, we closed it out. And we definitely had, now this is really funny. I have a book real quick on, like spiritualism, and well, it's called Wikipedia is what it's called, but Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
Yeah. So
like
it's, yeah. And in it teaches you how to use a Ouija board, and it says afterwards, it goes, so if you have a little bit of extra elevated spiritual activity after you do the Ouija board, you might need to go back and close it. You might need to like sage a little bit. And the way it talks about it is so casual that it cracks me up. So I was like, guys, we definitely, like, that night still had some spirits like walking around. Like, Zoe actually said that she was like, did any of you come back out into the living room like after we went to bed? And I was like, nope. Kyla's like, nope. Zoe's like, oh my God. She's like,
got some uninvited guests to a house party.
She said that she saw someone. She saw someone or heard footsteps walk to her door. So her door, there were the lights next to her door of the living room. She heard heavy footsteps, walked to the lights. She saw them flick on like underneath her door. She saw shadows of footsteps like at her door. Isn't that horrible?
This is terrible. I was honestly going to give a suggestion that we should do the Ouija board on this podcast.
We can.
But no, not after that story.
I don't know if it'll work
all
with
of a sudden
two
we have
people.
another guest here.
We need a we need a
the
third.
camera just keeps switching to them.
That'd be scary.
Yeah.
We should.
No, but think
for
about
my
that.
birthday episode.
Yeah.
It's my birthday. This is what we're doing.
Everyone's welcome. Yeah.
Yes, but we just need to like properly close it out. Everybody's like, don't fuck with Ouija boards. But like, I think if you go in with the right intentions and you're like, I'm just talking to the spirit world, how is it any different than when I sit with my equipment and I'm talking? How is it any different? You know?
I think nothing is going to go where it's not invited. So I think you're inviting it.
Yeah, but I'm inviting it during ghost hunting too. Like,
yeah.
I'm totally, and I do that regularly. So.
I guess you're inviting it to communicate.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry. You're in good hands.
Yeah?
We'll do a Ouija board.
The ghost just came out of you, dude. A New York
Margot
Italian.
Robbie.
Yeah.
Margot Robbie and
Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street, yeah, she just came flying through me.
Oh, that'd be a cool one to come out. If she... All right, you want to wrap this up?
I think we should. We're getting
that was a good
delirious.
story at the end. I'm glad we told that one.
I'm glad I did too.
Or you told that one. All right. Sweet. Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn.